What the hell is going on here? Hey, Sam, answer me, damn it! I don't have all day to sit around waiting for a reply from you all day again.
What is it now? Quit yelling.
Where are you right now?
I'm at work. What do you want now of all times? I'm busy. I got a meeting coming up here soon, and then I have to finish the rest of my work before coming home.
Well, I just came home and found that all my things were gone from my room. All of my clothing, all of my makeup, and all of my jewelry gone. What is going on here?
It's not that big a deal.
It's a huge deal. All my things are suddenly gone without any explanation. What is going on?
I just threw them out.
You threw them out? My stuff?
Yeah, I don't need it anymore.
What do you mean?
May got into med school, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Well, my daughter, who has my blood running through her veins, managed to get into a prestigious medical school. My parents and I, we both graduated from famous universities as well, right? May is clearly showing she has that same excellence running in her veins like we all have.
I don't know what you mean by blood here, but I will admit she's smart, so what's your point? How does this relate to you tossing all of my things?
You've already paid for her tuition to medical school, haven't you? So you're no longer necessary.
Huh?
Now that you've paid $500,000 for May's tuition, you're officially useless. And she hates you, so I made sure she threw your stuff out. Get out!
Wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. Does May know about this?
I told you she hates you, didn't I? How did you not realize that?
So that's why both of you suddenly started ignoring me.
You're so slow to catch on. It's too late now. You're really dense, aren't you? No wonder you only have a high school diploma. Both me and May, we've always been disgusted by how low your education level is. Now I can finally get rid of you and feel so much better.
Get rid of me? What does that even mean? Why are you wanting to get rid of me?
It means divorce. Someone like you is not suitable for our family's financial situation anymore.
Wait, not suitable?
You should be thankful I even married you in the first place. Now just accept the divorce and get out. I don't even know if I'm gonna remarry, but if I do, it'll be to someone more suitable. Someone with a higher education who can fit into our family's lifestyle. May will probably be happier with that, too.
I cannot accept this.
Look, as a parent, you should prioritize your daughter's happiness. May thinks you'll make her miserable if you stay in her life as her mother. So why not put your ego aside and do what's best for her? A real parent would do that, don't you think?
So once the tuition is paid, I'm just useless to you, huh?
Don't act all proud of paying it when you used my father's inheritance to cover the costs.
Fine then, I'll leave.
Yes! Finally, the trash is gone!
Mom, can I stay with you for a little while? Oh no, what happened? Did you and Sam have another fight? Oh, everything should be perfect now that May got into med school. What's there to fight about? It's not a fight. I was kicked out of the house. What? Why? After I paid the tuition, Sam told me that I was no longer needed. No, but that money was... It's fine. I kept it a secret from both of them. But still, how could they do this to you? I had a feeling something like this would happen sooner or later. Deep down, I was prepared for it, so right now I'm staying a little calm. Sam's behavior has been getting worse for the past few years. He used to be such a great person, serious, hardworking, and always doing his best. Yeah, he was, and he was so kind, too. I respected him a lot and loved him for it, but ever since he lost his job at his old company, he's just started falling apart. Wait, you're not feeling sorry for him, are you? Feeling sorry for him? No way. I'm just looking at everything from a calm, analytical point of view. I see. So you're not going to cry about it? Of course not. I've got a plan in mind. Once I get home, I'll tell you everything. All right, but make sure you hurry up and get back home. Sam, have your feelings not changed at all?
Of course not. My decision is as solid as a diamond. There's no changing it.
But how did it end up like this? What's the reason behind all this? I can't just accept it.
It's because you're a worthless, low-educated person. That's why.
Education isn't something that only matters now. It's not something new. If you cared so much about education in a wife, then you shouldn't have married me in the first place. Stop lying to me. Let's talk honestly for once.
No, this is the truth. Listen, I've realized the truth about how the world works.
The truth?
This world is divided into consumers and things that get consumed. The consumers are the highly educated, and the ones who are consumed are the lowly educated. Society functions because the highly educated handle the lowly educated. That's how things work.
Wait a minute. That's not true at all. You're talking nonsense.
Well, someone like you wouldn't even realize that, and you'll just end up being used by others and eventually thrown away.
So what exactly does that mean for me?
It means you're just someone who has value only as someone to be used. I treated you like money. Did you honestly think I ever planned to have you as my wife? I never had any intention of that at all.
That's wrong. That's completely wrong.
It's not wrong. This is how things are. It's reality. Your parents are high school graduates, right? That's exactly why I helped you out. I used your father's inheritance to pay for May's tuition. Your father was only worth that much. That's just the truth.
Stop saying such things. I could handle it if you're talking about me, but my father too?
I'm just telling it like it is. Don't shoot the messenger.
So May thinks the same way as you, huh?
That's right. She's also part of the consuming side because she's highly educated.
So that's how it is. Well, fine. Now I can deal with the both of you at the same time.
What? What are you talking about?
You're going to divorce me, right? How about I just send the divorce papers myself?
Yeah, go ahead. Just don't cause us any more trouble, you low-educated fool. I really wish I could erase the fact that I was ever married to someone like you from my memory.
What is wrong with you? Fine, I get it now. I'll handle everything right away. But just so you know, you'll regret this later. So, how's the divorce with Dad going? Is there any progress on it? May, having a mother like you is the biggest black mark on my life. You'd better not tell anyone about this, you hear me? Of course, if that's what you want, I won't say a word. From now on, I'm going to walk the path of an elite doctor. If anyone ever finds out that my mother is a high school graduate, it'll totally ruin my life. It would destroy my entire career. So all of this was what your father taught you, huh? Of course, what else could it be? Such a shame. Huh? What did you just say? How dare you speak to me like that when you're a low-educated person yourself? You were planning to live off the money I'll make as a doctor, weren't you? Do you think I'd ever let that happen? I wasn't trying to do that. I've always planned to live off my own earnings, and I only ever wanted your happiness, nothing else. You're disgusting. Stop pretending to be a mother. Fine, it's useless to argue with you. In that case, I'll send the divorce papers as soon as possible so that we can be done with this. Sam, are you serious about all this? Is this really what you want? You're acting like you don't care about anything anymore.
Of course I'm serious. This is the path I've chosen, and I'm not gonna back down. You should have known from the start that this was gonna happen. You really should have seen it coming. You just didn't want to acknowledge it.
What do you mean by that? You think I didn't try to understand? I tried so hard to make this work.
Make it work, please. You just didn't get it. You're just a low-educated person who's been taken advantage of all these years, and you never saw it. I've moved on from you. It's over.
I can't believe this. This isn't the person I thought you were.
You should have figured that out earlier. If you'd been more aware, you wouldn't be in this situation now. You think your education doesn't matter, but it does. It always has.
But we built a family together. Doesn't that mean something? Doesn't that count for anything?
It did count for something, but not anymore. You were part of the plan, but now you're just an obstacle to my goals. It's time to move on, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
How can you say that? How can you be so heartless?
Heartless? I'm just being realistic. I have no time for people who can't keep up with me. I'm moving forward, and if you're not coming with me, then you're just getting in the way.
But we're family. Doesn't that count for something? You think I'm just going to disappear like that?
You're already gone, whether you realize it or not. I've made my choice, and I'm sticking to it. I don't care what you think anymore. What the hell is this about?
Oh, what now? I thought I had already handed over the divorce proceedings to the lawyer. We shouldn't need to talk anymore.
That's not what I'm talking about. It's about the university tuition.
Tuition? What about it?
You've been lying to us, haven't you?
Shut up. You're making it sound worse than it is. What are you even talking about?
Just now I received a bill from the university for tuition. What's going on? You said you had paid it all.
Yes, that's right. I'm sure I made the payment, though.
So you mean this is the university's mistake? They've caused all this confusion? I'll file a complaint.
Oh, don't bother. They didn't make any mistake.
Then what's going on here? I don't get it.
The payment I made was for the entrance fee. I haven't paid the tuition yet.
What did you just say?
I only paid the $20,000 entrance fee. I haven't paid the $500,000 tuition yet.
What the hell?
Because the payment deadline hasn't arrived yet, and then all of a sudden you guys started ignoring me and kicked me out of the house. It led to the divorce, so I figured I didn't have to pay anymore.
Fine! That's ridiculous! You still have to pay it!
Why should I pay it? I'm no longer a part of your family. You're May's father, aren't you? You should be the one paying.
There's no way I can pay such a huge amount!
It's fine. You don't have to pay the $500,000 all at once. If you pay in installments over 6 years, you should be able to manage, right?
What are you talking about? Do you have any idea how much that still is?
It would be around $7,000 per month.
$7,000? There's no way I can pay $7,000 a month. I'm just an office worker.
Plus, you were fired from your last job and barely managed to get rehired as a contract employee.
You!
Oh, sorry. I thought it would be better to say it honestly. I'm just trying to explain the situation here.
By the way, what about student loans? Couldn't you use that?
Right, that's true. You could still apply for the university scholarship program.
What? Is that really possible?
Yes, you can borrow up to $1,000 a month, so this might work out. It's a small amount, but it could help you manage the tuition.
$1,000?
With that, you'd only need $6,000 a month to cover your tuition.
6,000? That's the equivalent of my entire salary for 3 months!
Oh, I didn't realize it was like that. I understand it's a heavy burden, but we have to figure something out. It's your daughter's future at stake here.
So what happens if we don't pay?
If you don't pay, your enrollment will be canceled.
Cancelled? So that's what you were after?
It's not about me having an agenda. I'm just fulfilling my basic responsibilities. You're the one who cut ties with me. Don't make me the bad guy here.
I didn't cut ties with you. You're the one who wanted this divorce. Now you're trying to make me pay for something that isn't even my fault.
That's what you think, but I'm not responsible for it. I never signed up for this. We agreed on the tuition, and now you're throwing everything back at me. But you really think it's right to burden me with this alone? You should have thought about that before everything fell apart. You shouldn't have thrown your responsibilities on me. I've done everything I can, but now you're expecting me to do even more?
If we don't pay, then what? Will they cancel her enrollment?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, like I just said.
So you're telling me that this is my problem now? You want me to pay $500,000 for May's education because of your incompetence?
No, you're the one responsible for not paying on time. I've done everything I can, and now it is too late to fix things. If you care about her, you'll step up and handle this.
Well, I won't pay for this. It's not my responsibility. She should have been prepared to pay it herself.
It's not that simple. You need to step up and help. You're her father.
I've told you already, I'm not in a position to pay that kind of money. This is all your fault, and I'm not taking the blame for it.
Wait a second. Don't you dare try to get out of this by blaming me. This is your responsibility as much as mine.
What do you want me to do? You're the one who decided to leave everything to me, aren't you?
I never left it all to you. You've had plenty of time to set up and deal with it, but you didn't. Now we're facing the consequences.
So what should we do now? Are you expecting me to just pay it all at once?
It's not about paying it all at once. You can pay it over time, but you need to show some responsibility here.
I can't handle it. I don't make enough money to cover this.
There are options, but you're just avoiding them.
No, I'm not avoiding anything. You're the one who wants to make this my problem.
Don't make excuses. You've made your bed, now lie in it. I am not responsible for this mess, and I am not going to clean it up.
Fine, then let it be. But if you don't pay, everything will fall apart.
And what happens if we can't pay? What happens then?
We'll face the consequences. You're putting our daughter's future at risk, and that's on you.
I've told you I'm not going to pay. Don't expect me to suddenly make it work.
Fine, I'll figure something out myself.
So what, you're going to handle it without me?
Of course! I don't need your help. I can take care of this on my own.
Well, if you're going to do that, then good luck.
Daisy, this is a huge problem.
Oh, didn't you already divorce Esther? If that's the case, could you stop calling me your mother-in-law?
No, that's not it. The divorce happened for a reason. There were real issues behind it.
A reason? Didn't you just throw Esther out without any warning?
Yes, it's true that I kicked her out, but there were very serious reasons for that. It wasn't something I did without thought.
A reason? What kind of reason?
Esther had been tormenting our daughter May, both physically and mentally, for such a long time. She'd been bullying her.
What? That's impossible. You're telling me Esther was bullying her?
I didn't know about it either until very recently. May had been quietly suffering from it, but eventually she gathered the courage to tell me about it. She couldn't take it anymore, and when she finally opened up, I understood what had been going on.
But that doesn't make sense. How could Esther, who paid for May's tuition, do something like that? She paid for her education. She wouldn't have done that if she didn't care about May.
That's exactly what I thought too, but no! It turns out that was just another form of manipulation and control! She pretended to care about May's future, but her actions were very different!
I don't understand. What are you saying?
Earlier today, I received a tuition bill from the university. Esther hadn't paid it. She hadn't made any payments at all.
What? How could that be?
Yes, it's true. Esther had been insecure about her education, feeling inferior because she was just a high school graduate. She couldn't stand the idea that May, who was more capable, might become a true elite. She was so threatened by it that she chose to sabotage May's future in a way that would hurt her in the long run.
But, Sam, this doesn't make sense. Why would Esther do something like that? She loved May.
You don't understand. She didn't love May. She was acting out of jealousy and her own insecurity. She couldn't handle the idea that May was on a better path, one that Esther felt she couldn't attain. And in her twisted way, she decided to make sure May would struggle.
That's just unbelievable. She actually chose to hurt her own daughter over her insecurities?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. It's hard to believe, but that's the truth. Now, Daisy, I don't want to keep going in circles with this, but you need to take responsibility for what's happening now.
Responsibility? What do you mean by that?
You need to pay May's tuition. Since Esther hasn't done it, you need to step in. If we don't pay this, May's admission will be canceled, and she won't be able to attend university at all. I'm sure you can manage it. After all, your husband passed away and left you some inheritance, right?
But tuition is so expensive. We're talking about $500,000 here.
Yes, I know it's a lot, but I also know that you have the means. Your husband left you his inheritance. That's more than enough to cover it.
Wait, you're asking me to pay all that? No, that's ridiculous. I can't just give that kind of money away.
Daisy, why are you refusing? Don't you care about May? This is for her future, for her chance to become something more than just another person in this world. If you really care about her, then you need to step up.
But how could I possibly come up with that much money?
It's your husband's inheritance. You don't need to worry about it. You can pay it and make sure May doesn't lose her chance to succeed. We both know it's the right thing to do.
But I don't believe this. Esther would never just let something like this happen. She's the one who was supposed to be taking care of this.
That's where you're wrong, Daisy. Esther has been using May's education as a way to control her, to keep her under your thumb. She didn't care about May's success or her future. She only cared about using her for her own purposes.
But that's not what I saw. I saw a woman who was supportive, who cared for her daughter's future. Oh, this doesn't make sense.
That's because Esther is a master at hiding her true nature. She made it look like she was doing the right thing, but she wasn't. And now here we are, trying to make sense of the mess she left behind.
And you want me to pay for this mess?
Yes, because quite frankly, you're the only one who can fix it. You have the money, and it's your responsibility as a parent now. You need to make sure May gets her education, regardless of how it came to this point.
But I don't have that kind of money. I didn't marry into wealth.
Daisy, don't play dumb with me. I know your husband left you a considerable amount of money. I know you have the ability to do this, so why are you pretending like you don't?
That's not fair. My husband worked hard every single day, but we weren't rich. There's no way we could have accumulated $500,000 in savings.
Wait, you're telling me there's no inheritance? No money left for May?
That's right. There was no grand inheritance. Esther lied to you. She made it sound like there was a big inheritance so you wouldn't worry. The truth is, I've been paying for everything using the money I earned myself. All of that, including the $20,000 entrance fee, came from my own hard work and savings.
Wait, what? The entrance fee? You didn't pay that?
No, she did. The $20,000 you're talking about came from savings she had set aside for May's education. And the rest of the $500,000 that was needed, she was planning to earn it by working more, but now she doesn't even need to worry about it anymore.
That can't be true! You're telling me that Esther was lying about everything?
Yes, she was. She wanted to make sure you didn't know the truth. So she fed you lies to keep you from getting involved, while she kept her hands clean. But the truth is, she wasn't the one paying for anything.
But she was supposed to be paying! How could she let things get to this point? That's the problem. She chose her own selfish desires over her daughter's future. And now we're left to clean up the mess she made. Daisy, can't you just help out for 1 year? If you pay for the tuition just for 1 year, it would keep May from losing her place.
I don't want to. You figure it out on your own.
Daisy, please, don't you care about your granddaughter?
Of course I care about her, but I also care about the daughter I gave birth to. Esther is my child, and after what you did, after kicking her out, I have no obligation to help you anymore.
But we're family! It's your daughter's daughter!
She may be my granddaughter, but the truth is you're nothing to me now. Not after everything that's happened, so don't contact me again. We're strangers, and I am done with you. Mom, I heard about the tuition. I know now what's going on. Oh, so now you're calling me Mom again? Didn't you say that I was a part of your dark history? That I wasn't your real mom? Well, I realized I've been deceived by Dad. I didn't see things clearly. But now I understand everything, and I just want to say, I love you, Mom. You're the one who made me see what's really important. I want to be with you. Really? How touching. But it's too late. I don't want to hear it. Mom, please. At least pay for the tuition. Just this once, please. See? This is what you wanted all along, wasn't it? You thought I was just a source of money for you, didn't you? You're trying to make it seem like you were wronged, but you can't just erase what happened. I won't forgive you for this so easily. Don't worry, your father will find someone else to take care of you, someone more suitable for your needs. I'm done with you. We're strangers now. But just because you're divorced from Dad doesn't mean we're strangers. We're still family. Do you want me to say it? I am done with your dad and I'm done with you. Don't ever contact me again. Even if my enrollment is canceled, I'll take the entrance exams again next year. I'll get in. You'll have to live off your dad's meager earnings. Moving to a cheaper apartment would be your only option, and you'd have to live on a much lower budget. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't understand before. I said some really horrible things. Please forgive me. No, you kicked me out. You treated me like I didn't matter. I can't trust someone like that. You're on your own now. Don't bother me again.
Hey, just to confirm, you really don't intend to pay, do you?
You are so persistent. I've already told you I'm not going to pay.
I see. Well, that means we're strangers from now on. Don't ever contact me again.
Of course.
From now on, no matter how much May manages to establish herself as a doctor, don't you dare ask for money. You promised that, didn't you?
I would never do something like that, not in a million years. But can she really become a doctor? What about her tuition?
No problem. My parents will pay for it.
Oh, so now you're going to beg your parents for help?
I'm just using what I've got. My dad worked at a major corporation. He retired last year and must have received a hefty retirement package. I'll manage with that.
Ah, so you still haven't changed. Your head's still as clueless as ever.
What do you mean by that?
When I got divorced, I made sure to explain the situation to your parents, too.
Huh?
They were both really shocked. They bowed their heads and apologized to me. I actually felt kind of embarrassed. They seemed so regretful about how everything had turned out, especially when it came to their son's behavior. They just couldn't seem to understand how things had gotten this bad.
Did my parents believe what you said?
Of course, I explained everything in detail, how I was ignored, how I was thrown out, and how I was paying for the tuition. I made sure they understood exactly what I went through during all of this.
You!
You really don't get it, do you? I even showed them proof that I was the one who paid the tuition. I couldn't bear to look at their apologetic faces. I had to watch them squirm, feeling sorry for me when they should have been the ones correcting the mess. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't have made your parents look that way. You're a real disappointment as a son. They thought their son was better than that.
Damn you for doing something unnecessary!
By the way, because of this, they've told me they want to cut ties with you two. So even if you try to contact them, they probably won't talk to you. It's over, you know. They've made their decision.
What?
Go ahead, try calling them.
You're right. They've blocked my calls.
So now you're on your own when it comes to paying May's tuition. Stop being foolish and relying on others and get to work. Make sure you earn the money yourself. It's your responsibility now, not anyone else's.
Esther, I was wrong. Please forgive me.
May said the same thing, you know. You two really are like father and daughter. Both of you always think you can get away with anything without taking responsibility.
Hey, how can you just switch off your feelings like this? You saw how hard May was studying, didn't you? How can you just erase that effort from your mind? That's a part of her life. She worked so hard for this. How can you pretend that doesn't matter?
Of course, I know how hard she worked. She really pushed herself, but you can't just erase what's already been done. The past doesn't just disappear. Then did you know how much I sacrificed for you both? Did you ever think about that?
Well, that's...
Did you know and still treat me like this? If you did, that's just the lowest thing you could do. Of course, even if you didn't know, it's still terrible. But if you knew all of this and you still treated me the way you did, that's unforgivable.
Well...
You're always talking about things like consumption and being consumed or acting like an elite because of your academic credentials. Don't talk nonsense. You didn't lose your job because of your education. It wasn't your degrees that failed you. You just got fired, and now you're sulking like a child and trying to take the easy way out. You don't need to make excuses or justify your behavior. What you should have done is just focus on doing your job, but you didn't do that. Instead, you sat there like a lazy child expecting things to be handed to you. You didn't even try to improve things. You just leaned on me and expected me to clean up your mess. I'm done. I have reached my breaking point. If only you had said one simple word, thank you, none of this would have happened. But you and May can't even understand that basic thing, and yet you both act like you're above everybody else.
Please, Esther, don't abandon us. We need you. Don't turn your back on us now.
You were the one who abandoned me first. You can't just pretend you're the victim here. Don't make me feel sorry for you. Don't contact me anymore. I've had enough. I want to forget as quickly as possible that I was ever married to you two. I don't want to remember it, not one bit. Mom, it's over. You got a call too, right? Sorry for dragging you into this. I didn't want to put you through all this mess. It's fine. I said everything I needed to say, so I feel better now. It's been a long time coming. Are you okay? What are you going to do now? What comes next for you? I'm fine. Now that I have 2 bad debts to deal with, it's kind of freeing, actually. From now on, I'll be able to use my earnings however I want. I don't have to worry about anyone else. I can finally do things for myself, and that's something I haven't been able to do in so long. I'm kind of excited about it, to be honest. I'm glad. I want you to be happy. I want you to enjoy your life, do what makes you feel good. Don't forget, your dad and I will always support you. We're on your side no matter what, and we always will be. Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it. I don't think I could make it through all of this without knowing you're behind me. You and Dad, both of you are my support, and I don't take that for granted. I'll make sure to remember it, no matter what happens. I'm sure you will. You've always been strong, even when things seemed impossible. I know you'll get through this too. Just keep your head up and don't let anyone pull you down. You've got so much ahead of you, and I want you to have the life you deserve. Thanks again, and I'll keep moving forward, and I'll make sure to keep my promises just like you taught me. I won't forget everything you've done for me. And remember, you have the power to change things. You don't have to let your past define you. It's what you do from now on that matters the most. Take every chance you can to make a future that makes you happy. And no matter what, we'll always be there to back you up. Thanks, Mom. I know you're right. I'll focus on building my future now. I'm ready to let go of the past. I've learned my lessons and I'm stronger because of it. I know you are. You've always been someone who fights for what they want. Just stay true to yourself and I have no doubt things will get better. Life may not always be easy, but you've got the strength to keep moving forward. Just don't forget who you are and what you're capable of. Thanks for believing in me. I won't let you down. Sam was unable to cover the tuition fees for May's university education, and as a result, her admission was ultimately revoked. This devastating turn of events marked the beginning of a series of dramatic changes in their lives. For years, Sam had relied heavily on my support to make ends meet, never truly considering what would happen if that support disappeared. Once I was no longer in the picture to help, they found themselves cornered, unable to cope with the mounting pressures of their situation. The first major consequence of their financial struggles was the loss of their condominium. Unable to afford the rent, they had no choice but to move out and settle into a much smaller and less comfortable apartment. This significant downgrade in their living conditions brought new challenges and heightened tensions between them. Life in poverty proved to be a harsh reality for both Sam and May, and their once decent relationship began to deteriorate rapidly. From what I've heard, their bond as a parent and child unraveled to the point where it could be described as the worst it had ever been. May, who had dreamed of going to university and pursuing a career in medicine, was understandably devastated by the loss of her opportunity to study. But rather than looking at the situation objectively, she placed all the blame squarely on Sam's shoulders. In her eyes, it was entirely his fault that she couldn't enroll in university. This belief consumed her, and as a result, she began to take out her frustrations on Sam in increasingly harsh and cruel ways. She would criticize him constantly, pointing out his failures and shortcomings. Her resentment grew stronger with each passing day, and she became relentless in her verbal attacks. Of course, Sam wasn't one to endure such treatment without pushing back. He had his own frustrations and stress to deal with, and he refused to silently accept the blame for everything. This dynamic led to explosive arguments that became a nightly occurrence in their household. The two of them would shout at each other, each trying to make their grievances heard, but neither willing to listen. The constant fighting only worsened their already fragile relationship. Amid this turmoil, May decided to take matters into her own hands. Determined not to give up on her dream of becoming a doctor, she resolved to retake the university entrance exams. Her plan was to work part-time to support herself financially while studying to gain admission to a prestigious medical school. Initially, this decision brought her a sense of purpose and hope for the future. She threw herself into her studies and her job with determination, believing that she could overcome the odds. However, the reality of balancing a demanding part-time job with the rigorous study schedule required for medical school soon became overwhelming. The stress of trying to manage both responsibilities took its toll on her, both mentally and physically. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't keep up with the intense workload. Eventually, she was forced to face the fact that her plan was unsustainable. Reluctantly, she abandoned her dream of becoming a doctor, leaving her feeling lost and directionless. After giving up on her academic aspirations, May shifted her focus to a new goal, finding a wealthy man to marry. She reasoned that if she couldn't achieve financial stability through her own efforts, the next best option was to secure it through marriage. From what I've heard, she now spends her days glued to her phone, scrolling through various matchmaking apps. She spends hours meticulously crafting her profile, messaging potential matches, and analyzing their responses, all in the hopes of finding a partner who can provide the life of comfort and luxury she desires. Meanwhile, Sam's situation has only worsened. The stress of living in poverty, coupled with the constant arguments with May, became too much for him to handle. In an effort to escape the pressures of his daily life, he began to neglect his health. Over time, his physical condition deteriorated significantly. Simple tasks that once seemed effortless became increasingly difficult, and his overall energy levels plummeted. Despite these challenges, Sam continues to push himself to go to work every day. Dragging his exhausted and weakened body to his job, he somehow manages to keep working, though it's clear that he's struggling to keep up. Sam's mental health also seems to have taken a hit, according to what I've heard. The constant cycle of stress, financial hardship, and arguments with May has left him emotionally drained. He no longer has the energy to enjoy life or even seek out solutions to improve his situation. Instead, he's fallen into a pattern of simply surviving day to day, doing the bare minimum to keep afloat. This resignation to his circumstances is both heartbreaking and frustrating to witness. May's determination to marry into wealth might appear to be a strategic move, but it comes with its own set of challenges and risks. Navigating the world of matchmaking apps and dating platforms can be emotionally taxing, especially when the stakes are so high for her. She's placing all her hopes for a better future on the idea of finding a suitable partner, and the pressure to succeed in this endeavor must be immense. If things don't work out as she hopes, it's hard to imagine how she will cope with yet another disappointment. As for me, my life has taken a completely different path. After moving out of the shared living arrangement with Sam, I decided to rent a condominium where I could start a new chapter in my life. This decision marked a turning point for me, as it allowed me to create a space that was entirely my own, free from the stress and negativity that had plagued my previous living situation. In addition to my new home, I've also started living with my mother. This change has brought an incredible amount of joy and fulfillment into my life. Living with her has strengthened our bond in ways I never imagined possible. We've developed a routine that's filled with warmth and mutual support, and I couldn't be happier. Each day feels like a fresh start, a chance to focus on things that truly matter to me. Our days together are simple but meaningful. We share meals, exchange stories about our day, and laugh over the little things. Having her by my side has given me a sense of stability and comfort that I hadn't felt in a long time. I finally found a rhythm to life that feels natural and fulfilling. This new chapter has allowed me to prioritize my happiness and well-being, and I'm incredibly grateful for the choices that led me here. In addition to the joy of living with my mother, I've also taken steps to build a life that feels authentically my own. I've pursued new hobbies, made connections with people who share my interests, and focused on cultivating a sense of inner peace. It's not always easy, of course. There are moments when I reflect on the struggles of the past and feel a pang of sadness or regret. But those moments are fleeting, overshadowed by the overwhelming sense of gratitude I feel for the life I've built. While I found peace and joy, I can't ignore the stark contrast with Sam and May's struggles. May's decision to abandon her dream of becoming a doctor and instead pursue a wealthy marriage may seem practical in her current situation, but it's not without risks. Relying on a potential partner to solve all her problems might lead to disappointment if things don't go as planned. Moreover, her resentment towards Sam has left a lasting strain on their relationship, one that might not be easy to repair. As for Sam, his deteriorating health and the immense pressure he faces at work paint a grim picture. It's disheartening to see someone I once supported now struggling to keep up with the demands of life. Despite our differences, I can't help but hope that he'll find a way to improve his situation, whether through seeking help or making changes to his lifestyle. For now, I'm focused on embracing the positivity and joy that my new life has brought me. Each day is a reminder of how far I've come and how much I've grown. While the challenges of the past are still fresh in my mind, they've also made me appreciate the happiness I've found even more. This new chapter is one I am determined to cherish and make the most of, no matter what.